BBC News with Sue Montgomery. President Biden says Russia carried out a horrific atrocity when it fired a missile at a railway station in eastern Ukraine, killing more than 50 people and injuring 300 others. 4,000 people had been crowded into Kramatorsk station, trying to escape an expected Russian advance in the eastern Donbass region. The BBC's Joe Inwood is in the city.
By the time I got there, a few hours later, the clean-up operation had been remarkably efficient. All of the people, the bodies had been taken away. There was still blood all over the floor, and there were still burnt-out cars, but they'd already started to board up the windows. But the thing that was really striking, the really noticeable thing when you got there, was this missile, this huge munition, bits falling off it, but you could see clearly what it was. You could see the fins. And written on the side of it were two Russian words that said, "For children." Now, there is speculation about what that means, but it was really quite striking to see.
The head of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, says Ukraine is marching towards a European future as Russia descends into economic, financial and technological decay. Speaking alongside President Zelensky in Kiev, Ms von der Leyen promised to speed up the early stages of Ukraine's bid to join the European Union.
My message today is very clear. Ukraine belongs to the European family. We've heard your request loud and clear. And today we're here to give you a first positive answer. In this envelope, dear Volodymyr, there is an important step towards EU membership. It is where your path towards Europe and the European Union begins.
Two of the biggest US media organisations, Discovery and Warner Media, have merged. The newly formed conglomerate, to be known as Warner Brothers Discovery, will begin trading on Monday. The deal, originally confirmed last May, will add channels including HBO, CNN and Turner Sports to Discovery's existing outlets. A court in New York has found a former Goldman Sachs banker, Roger Ng, guilty of corruption and laundering money from the Malaysian government's investment fund, 1MDB. Samira Hussain reports.
The Malaysian government set up the 1MDB fund ostensibly to invest in domestic development projects. Goldman Sachs helped it raise $6.5 billion from the bond markets. But prosecutors in New York said that of that money, $4.5 billion ended up in the private hands of government officials and bankers in a vast scheme of money laundering and bribery. Roger Ng was one Goldman Sachs banker who was central to the scheme. His conviction for violating U.S. corruption laws is a blot on the reputation of Goldman Sachs.
BBC News. The Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, has said that if he is ousted from power, he will not accept an imported government. He was speaking ahead of a no-confidence vote in Parliament, which is expected to lose. In a late-night address, Mr Khan insisted he was the victim of an international conspiracy orchestrated by the United States. The United States has expressed concern about reports of ethnically motivated atrocities in Ethiopia's Tigray region and has called for an end to unlawful detentions based on ethnicity. The State Department said it was alarming that thousands of Tigrayans reportedly continued to be detained arbitrarily in life-threatening conditions. A federal jury in the US has acquitted two men of conspiring to kidnap the Michigan governor, Gretchen Whitmer, 2 years ago. But the jury was unable to reach a verdict on the same charges for two other men. David Willis has been following the trial.
The prosecution claimed that they and 9 others were plotting to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer and put her on trial for treason. They were also planning, it said, to blow up a bridge and cause sufficient chaos to trigger a civil war in the run-up to the 2020 presidential election, with the aim of preventing Joe Biden from winning that election. Now, Daniel Harris and Brandon Concerta were both acquitted of charges, including conspiracy, after 5 days of deliberation, and the jury was unable to reach a verdict in the case of the other two men, and they will now face a retrial.
The body that hands out the Oscars has banned the actor Will Smith from all its events for 10 years after he slapped the presenter Chris Rock. But the Academy stopped short of revoking his Best Actor award. The Academy described the actor's behaviour at the Oscars ceremony as unacceptable and harmful. BBC News.